Okay, so I'm going to do a previous button just to show you how those scripts work. Now you're going to see that we go here. We really don't need a previous button unless we want to go all the way back to the beginning, which we'll do that. We'll just make it go back to frame one, and you can do that with the same script for your replay button. Okay, so I'm going to need another script here that says when I click the previous button, which I don't have out there yet, is to go back to frame one and play again. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this button, I'll duplicate it, and let's call it pre button. Click OK. Oh, I think I already did that. Previous button. All lowercase. Okay, and there it is right there. I think I did this demo, so I'm going to delete that one. Okay, so there's the copy of the next button. You'll see it right there. It still says next, but I want to edit that. So I'm going to go to editing window, and I'm going to call this prev. And same here. Okay, and you're going to want to use the text tool to do this. Okay. And in the hit state, doesn't really matter, but I'm going to do it anyways. Okay, so now I have a previous button. You can see that that's what that's called, and my next button should have not changed because I made a duplicate and then I just edited that previous button right there. Okay, so let's go back to the timeline, which you'll see we have breadcrumbs here. I'm going to create another layer. Okay, I'm going to drag it below the next button, and I'm going to double click and call it previous button. Okay, now I'm only going to do one of these, and then you can do the rest because it's the same process. Okay, you can see that it's all the way out to the timeline. I need to insert a keyframe here because when I click this button, it needs to go back to frame one. Okay, and I need to drag. Where is my previous button? Actually, let me delete that. Okay, let me create a layer, and we'll call it pre button. Forgot to drag my button out there. So there, let's put this previous button here. Okay, just gonna line it up there. All right, so there's my previous buttons out there for the whole movie. Again, I got to create an insert a keyframe. Okay, and this is going to, when I click it, it needs to go back to frame one. Now remember, we got to name these instances. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and insert these keyframes here. Now I'm not going to put the scripts on these. I'm going to let you do that. The only way you'll learn is to actually do it yourself. So insert a keyframe, and I really don't need one there. Okay, so each of these is going to have a separate action. When I click this one, it's going to go back to frame one. When I click this one, it's going to go back to frame 23 or whatever, wherever it is that it restarts. Okay, so here in the actions, okay, you'll see that I have this button. Well, I need to copy this, and I'm going to paste it. Oop. Got to stay outside those parens there. Okay. Okay. Now I haven't named my instance button yet, so let's go back here. It's waiting here for mouse click right there. You see it does not have an instance name, so I'm going to call this prev underscore btn or prev1. Okay. So I can name them prev1, prev2. Okay. And I'm just going to make sure that's saved. Okay. Okay. So this button instance right here is called prev underscore btn. This one is going to be called prev underscore or prev2 underscore btn. Okay, and I'll show you what happens there. So when I click this one, I want it to go back to frame one. Let's go to that script right there. Okay, so this needs to say prev underscore btn. Actually, it's prev1. Remember, those instance names got to be exact. Okay, let's just double check that. So that instance name is pre1 underscore btn. My script calls that previous button. Now, this really doesn't matter where this goes, in what order, so I'm just going to go back and replace this. So this should actually be the next one, and this is the one I'm going to edit. So got to be exact. Okay, underscore btn. Got to be very careful about your scripts. Now this one, when it clicks, it needs to go back to frame 1 at the very beginning. And I just want to make sure that these do not conflict. If they say the same thing, then you're going to get a script error. So that's correct. That's correct. Let me save this. Okay, now let's test it. So we should have all the next buttons working, and then the previous should go back to frame 1. I'm going to test the movie. No compiling errors. Okay, if I hit previous, it goes back to frame 1, starts again. Okay, so in your situation, if it goes to this area, this button needs to tell it to go back and play that frame, which is frame 23. Okay, so in your script, your go back to previous button is going to go back to frame 23. Actually, it would be this one. Okay, because it's stopping on 55 and then playing to 56. If you want it to go to previous, it has to go to frame 23. Okay, all right, and then on the very last frame down here, okay, you need to create a replay button, okay, and the script for that should just be one script that tells it to go back and play frame 1. Now you're going to create a button, name the instance replay, and then in the script, okay, you can just copy and paste this. It should be replay underscore btn go to frame 1. Now that should be in this frame right here. Okay, that should go right here underneath that stop. Don't get rid of the stop or the movie's not going to stop. Next I'm going to show you how to put the sound in, and then we should be done.